Welcome back to 13C. Today we are looking at suppressor hosts. Does the host matter? In a word, absolutely. Yes, it matters a lot. So this is kind of a progression of videos that we've been making here. Started out with a kind of silencer 101 as we go through things that you're looking for, construction, cleaning, different things. Well, now we're talking about hosts. And this is actually skipping the gun a little bit, but we thought it was important to get a more hands-on thing out here to you right now. I had Gunrunner 219 and Bill from NFA talk out yesterday. We had a ton of fun. We really enjoyed our time out together, and it was more just a hangout day than anything else. Well, Bill did bring one of his meters, and we figured let's put some of this down so you can see it in action as we're kind of talking about it. So basically, what started out as just kind of showcasing differences between hosts also evolved into a little bit on technology and the, back in the day, especially 10, 15 years ago, volume was king above all else. Now technology has bridged some of that gap to where shave off some volume, your technology is still able to get you a ton of reduction and negate the need for some of those bigger things. Of course, we've talked about the difference in volume, why sometimes you just want volume, not just from a sound reduction standpoint, but if you're shooting high volume subguns, let's say, and you're shooting a ton of rounds down range with that pistol powder, you need that volume in there to help the gas expansion, because otherwise you're going to be getting a ton of gas blowback in your face. It's not going to be fun. So there are times where volume, there's no substitute for that. We're talking about gases and blowback and stuff. They have passed through silencers now and stuff like that with some of the newer technology. You're sacrificing dBs at that point, but then again, if they're going down range, they're not by your ear, it doesn't really matter. Again, that's something that we're going to get into right now. So enough of the talking, let's get into that, and then we're going to come back and we're going to kind of digest what we've seen.
136, 135, 137, 135, 136 and a half, 136.1.
It's 5, right?
Yep. 135, 134, 134 and a half, 135, 134 and a half, 135, 142 and a half, 143.1, 144, 144.1, 144.4.
It's 5.
5. 139.2, 134, 138.2, 140.1, 139. Is that 5? Yeah.
Yep.
150, 150, 152, 150.6, 151.4.
Was that 5?
One more. 151 and a half. 150.9, 152.1. Shit, missed it. Fire. 152.6.
That's a lot of gas coming out of this.
152. 152.6. 144.3. 144.5. Who made these shitty reloads?
Right? Ready?
Yep. 143.4. 144.4.
One more or no?
Yep. 144.6.
All right.
145. 142. 144.2. 143.8. 142.4. Shit, too fast. Hang on. Fire one more. 144.1. That's why we got the extras. 139. 137. 141. 139 and a half. 139 and a half. 138 and a half. 136. 134. 134. 135 and a half. All right, job well done.
So there's a ton to unpack right there, so let's get started. For what it's worth, I'm going to make a separate silencer playlist just for these videos. I don't know what I'll entitle it, Silencer 101 or Silencer Knowledge Bomb Drop, something. I have no idea. We'll figure it out. In any event, look for that if you're looking for this entire series here in what we're doing. So let's start with the AR9 versus the UMP. That UMP had a 9mm barrel in it. That was a 9mm, about the same barrel length between the two right there, so that's not going to play a huge difference in this. Exact same ammunition in the two, and of course we bounce back and forth with the Vers 9 on both of them, and then the Thompson TM9. So technology wise, Vers 9 smaller, less volume than the Thompson TM9. Vers 9 wins out hands down over the other. It's a quieter can, even though it's less volume. It is a large can, and it is designed. If you're going to get one of the Vers 9's 9S, I would if you're not looking for specifically for high volume subgun use, and you can shoot high volume through the 9 or 9S, but if you're not really necessarily looking to kick down some of that gas blowback, if you're not shooting, you know, like full auto 9, go with the 9S. It's going to sound very, very, very close, like 1 dB difference. Is so close. Then that extra volume, of course, you're giving up the volume, which the Vers 9 was meant for full auto subgun fire to be able to handle that extra powder. I think we went into that, kind of like the Thompson TM9 was. Anyway, AR9 versus the, and it's going to be the same whether it's the MP5 or UMP. UMP beats it hands down as a silencer host simply because it is quieter. The way the mechanism is designed, they're both blowbacks, but you're talking about a difference in the AR9 versus that. And the AR9 you see there, I love that build. That's a custom build I did with quarter circle 10. You can check out the video on that. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. It is dead on reliable. I couldn't be happier with it. And the beautiful thing about it is it runs just as well suppressed as unsuppressed without having to screw around with it. You got a number of different buffer weights in there. Left them set exactly where it runs both perfectly, and it is good to go. That said, any of your AR9s are going to be a little louder. In this case, when you're looking at the Vers 9 on the AR9 versus that UMP, there's nearly a 10 decibel difference between those two platforms. And again, barrel lengths were very, very similar. They're within like half an inch of each other. I can't remember which is which off the top of my head right now. So that isn't playing into account right now on that decibel difference. So keep that in mind. And again, that was at the, at the ear. And these are off the cuff measurements, but we wanted to not just go by the earometer on this one, because we wanted to put some numbers out there for you can understand why it's harder sometimes to recommend some stuff. If you're going to look at putting on a can, why necessarily spend top dollar if you're going to dedicate it on your AR9, when if you can find one on sale that's lower priced, it's going to be dedicated, it's going to wind up sounding the same at your ear anyway. Just something to consider, something to keep in mind. On the other side of that, when we broke out the IWI Galil Ace Gen 2, and the video on that is going to be dropping pretty close after this video drops, within a week or two of this video dropping, because we're just wrapping up the testing for the full video on that. The first look video is out, but the full video is coming up here pretty soon. Anyway, you're looking at numbers on that put the full power 7.62x3.9 with the Vers 30 sounding almost the same as a suppressed AR9 at the ear. Those numbers are really, really close. Again, platform versus platform. So let's talk about the AK. AK with, you had the longer barrel was actually on that AK. It was a 10.5-inch barreled AK versus the 8.3-inch shorter barrel on the Galil Ace Gen 2. And the Galil Ace Gen 2 was by far suppressed better, sounds way better, and there's less gas and blowback in your face. And you're looking at a big difference there as well. You were looking at, I think, low to mid 140s on the suppressed on the Galil Ace versus 150s, low 150s with the AK. Huge difference. If you need to fire off some rounds without hearing protection, 140 is that threshold for pain that OSHA puts it at. But if you needed to fire off some rounds without hearing protection on the suppressed Galil Ace, you're not going to have near as bad ringing in your ears as you are with some of the damage that can definitely occur at 150 shooting that AK suppress. So that's something huge to keep in mind there, the differences there. We also threw in, just for giggles, some 5.56 action. So there was the shorties, those two different barrel length. The barrel lengths were the same there. The hodgepodge of uppers and lowers got swapped around on there for that video, because the used the SDN6 versus the SIG 5.56 QD, and we've tested that can before. We've tested, I think, all these cans. We have numbers on and data on if you go back and look at them on our channel. Man, that SIG 5.56 QD sounds fantastic for its size. Again, it's technology just winning out hands down on that. It's a fantastic sounding can. That's Inconel can. You can beat the heck out of that thing, and it is going to sound great. So there's some other comparison numbers, so you can see that those are coming in sub 140, which would actually put the 5.56 quieter than the AR9 at the ear, which, again, you know, these are things that run into. That's why we hesitate, at least I hesitate for sure, to say what's best, because what's best for me may not be best for you and the host and everything else. That's why we're trying to put these together so that you have a better look. We've got 1 or 2 more videos in this series that are going to be coming out, and possibly more if we think about it after that, as we try and wrap this up. But hopefully this gives you an idea. Yes, absolutely, your platform matters. If you're looking at 22 cans and 22 cans, 2 cans, that's where you really want to delve into. In my opinion, if you really want the quietest, that's where you start delving into, okay, what is the quietest? Because there isn't as much distance between some of those hosts as there is, especially when you start moving into the larger center fire calibers. Again, there's all different things that go in there, so I'm not going to drop any names on this one here, but man, there's a lot to consider, and hopefully this helps. If you're new into getting silencers and you want an easy way to get started, check out the SID kiosk from Silencer Shop. It's an easy way to get started. You can put your fingerprints in there, get all your information entered online, take a picture of yourself, a selfie from your phone to upload as the photo. They'll give you the template. There's an outline on there where you can put yourself. They'll tell you the background to stand in front of, you know, neutral background, so that they accept it as a passport style photo. And man, it makes it way easier, and that's through the folks at Silencer Shop to do that. There's a huge dealer network that works with Silencer Shop now. If you need to go to one of their dealer kiosks and there's not one close by, you only have to visit the kiosk in person once to get your stuff done. And then if it's another dealer that's affiliated with them, you never have to go back to the kiosk more than once. So if it's a dealer that's affiliated but they don't have their own kiosk, make the extra drive, do it once, and then you don't have to worry about getting your fingerprints done at your local station and all that stuff every time you go through it. Makes it quick and easy. Thank you again so much to our friend Gunrunner219. Check out his channel if you haven't already. Bill from NFA Talk, man, it was a blast having you out, and thank you again. Wealth of information between those two gentlemen. It's awesome that they're up here in this area and we get to hang out together and do some of this stuff together. If you're interested in supporting the channel, we have a Patreon, we have a swag shop. 1776 United will put some information down below. They do our channel shirts and some other stuff if you're interested in picking up some swag. That Big Cartel shop as well, and sign up for our newsletter if you haven't. We haven't sent out a newsletter in a couple of months. I've been slacking on that. Probably need to get one out soon, but we kind of stick to, we never send out a newsletter more than once a week, and at this point we're sending out a newsletter like once a quarter only, so I need to get back on that. Anyway, thank you again everyone so much. We really appreciate it. Hopefully this answers your host question and gets us set up for our next video. We're going to be talking in depth, we should be this next one, on rifle cans, specifically construction, all that other stuff, and trying to get you in the right place to make sure you make the right informed decision for what you need. Hopefully we can lay that out. Thanks again everybody. Take care, stay safe. We'll talk soon.